Hello, and welcome to today's history lesson. Today, we are going to be talking about the 30 Years' War. You might be wondering, how did this long war get started? Well, this was started in 1618, when fed-up Germans decided to throw some officials out of a window. Fast forward 30 years, and there are thousands of dead soldiers lying on many different battlefields. The Holy Roman Emperor, Charles V, had split his territory between his son, Philip II, and his brother, Ferdinand. As you know, Philip was in charge of the Netherlands, which soon declared their independence from Spain with the help of William the Silent. Ferdinand inherited parts of Germany. Ferdinand also became the Holy Roman Emperor after his brother. After Ferdinand died, his son Maximilian inherited the empire, and then passed it on to his son Matthias. After Matthias had passed away, his cousin, Ferdinand II, became the next ruler because Matthias had no heirs of his own. As soon as Ferdinand was made ruler, problems began to occur. Back then, Germany was made up of several different territories. Each of these territories was ruled by a powerful leader who were loyal to the German king. These leaders had the privilege of choosing whether their territory would be Protestant or Catholic. Many of the princes of the territories were Protestants, but Ferdinand, however, followed in his family's footsteps and dedicated his way of life to the Catholic religion. Like the previous rulers, Ferdinand immediately began signing laws, making the Protestants' way of life very difficult. He hated the Protestants. The German princes and their subjects were extremely angry with Ferdinand. Many of them gathered at the city of Prague, preparing themselves to protest Ferdinand's ridiculous laws. Ferdinand, however, was not in Germany at the time because he was traveling. He left two officials in charge of his empire while he was traveling. The poor officials had no idea how to handle this crazy mob of angry Protestants. They tried reasoning with them and ordering them to calm down and disperse, but it was of no use. The Protestants thought that they should kill the officials so that some Protestants could be in charge. As soon as the officials heard about what the mob was trying to do, they ran as fast as they could back into the castle and locked the door. The Protestants ran to the castle, knocked the door down, and found the two officials' hiding spot. They took the officials and threw them out of a window that was 50 feet above the courtyard. Surprisingly, the two men survived and they ran away. Many Catholics believed that the Virgin Mary had saved the two officials. The Protestants didn't think that the Virgin Mary had saved them, but rather a huge heap of horse poop. They thought that it had cushioned their fall. This event is known as Defenestration of Prague. Defenestration means to throw a person out of the window, as the word originates from Latin. This was the beginning of the 30 Years' War. The German Protestants pronounced themselves free of Ferdinand's rule. The Germans didn't think they needed to worry about Ferdinand. He was a fat little man who seemed harmless. Unfortunately for the Germans, Ferdinand would not go without a fight. He was committed to keeping Germany a Catholic country. Ferdinand wanted to become the Holy Roman Emperor. He had to get 7 votes from German princes in order to become the emperor. Ferdinand had a tiny problem. 3 of the 7 princes were Protestants and members of the rebellion. He had to get the 3 Protestant regions back under his control in order to become the Holy Roman Emperor. Ferdinand persuaded his allies in Spain and Austria to make 2 strong armies. The armies beat the Protestant rebels easily. After the rebels' defeat, he had the leaders of the rebellion executed, and he placed their heads on a bridge. He then took Protestant land and gave it to Catholics, and he demanded that the electors vote for him, making him the Holy Roman Emperor. Ferdinand had hoped that his actions had ended the rebellion once and for all, but to his disappointment, there was only more turmoil. Protestant princes in Germany, Denmark, England, and the Netherlands were not happy about what Ferdinand had done to the Protestants, and they wondered if their territory would be the next one that would be taken away. Christian IV, King of Denmark, decided to march his army into Germany. He had 30,000 men and was a strong leader. It is said that Christian was a person of endless energy. While he did want to defend the Protestant faith, he was also hoping that he could acquire some German land for his empire. English soldiers were sent by James I. Protestant Germans also came to help the Denmark army. Meanwhile, Ferdinand hired a man named Albert of Wallenstein to be his new general. Johannes Kepler, a German mathematician and astronomer, said that Albert was unmerciful. When the two armies met, Albert and his army proceeded to destroy the Protestant Germans, Danish and English armies. The country of Sweden was shocked. They decided to take action and attack Ferdinand's army. Gustav II, the Swedish king, was more prepared than the Denmark army was. Sweden's army was successful in driving out the Germans. Ferdinand's men fled back to Germany. Gustav persuaded the Protestant German princes to join his army, and together they marched to Vienna, which was Ferdinand's capital. Ferdinand would not give up. He executed Albert for failing him and got another general. Sadly, Gustav died in battle, and without his leadership, the Protestant army began to crumble. After 16 tedious years of fighting, the German Protestants went before Ferdinand and asked if they could just have peace. A year later, Ferdinand signed a treaty stating that Protestant princes could pick which religion they wanted their territory to follow. 17 years of war got them nowhere. Thousands of people had died, hundreds were without homes, and much had been destroyed. The French king decided that he wanted to be the Holy Roman Emperor, and so he declared war on Germany. The Netherlands, Spain, and Sweden all joined in again. After 30 years of fighting, Ferdinand was dead, the French king was dead, and the countries of Europe finally signed a treaty called the Peace of Westphalia, which gave German land to Sweden and France. Even though a lot of things had settled down, the war wasn't actually over until 1659, which was 41 years after the two officials were thrown out of the window. Well, that wraps up our presentation on the 30 Years' War. See you next time.